Welcome to another MCI Methods video for shop methods. Today we're going to go over the creation of a simple invoice from a job or an RO and get that paid and see how it flows into QuickBooks Online. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start by logging into our training or testing client. So what we've got is we've got this estimate and job right here. 853 for Chris Williams. It's an Audi A4 and it's $881.57. So what we want to do to create that invoice is so we see that it's the status is complete. We can open that job right here. Click on that. And that opens up our job. So 853 is our job. We notice that it's complete. The labor items, the parts, and fees are all taken care of. So what we can do is at this point, once it's marked complete, you will have a button called Invoice All Final. And what that does is actually create your final invoice and it closes the RO and the job and actually goes back and closes the estimate. And so everything's closed out at that point, except for the invoice which you have to pay. So we will go ahead and create this. So what this is doing right now is it's creating our invoice. There's a couple things that are going to happen here. First of all, the document is going to be created, and we see that it is. It's got a number of 950. It's also sent to QuickBooks. We have our green QuickBook light on so that we know that we are connected to QuickBooks. The other thing is it will send a text message to the customer. It'll also send an email. But text message is nice because it'll actually, if you're configured and set up this way, it'll have a link in there that they can go pay that invoice on the customer portal if that's the way you want to do things. So let's go ahead. Remember, we can open that invoice by we got our document trail here, so we can click on the 950. That'll open up our invoice. Now you may ask why the numbers are different, right? So we have 853 for estimate, 853 for RO. Those are always going to be the same. Now, invoice can be different. It's often usually going to be higher because remember, you can have multiple invoices for a estimate RO because and so that way that number gets increases quicker. So, okay, so here we are in our invoice. Basically we have all of our line items. We can add a note to it. We can attach files. We can text directly from the invoice to the customer if we wish. We can email that invoice if we want. We can view it and print it out. A PDF is rendered, and this PDF is customizable. Right now, it's showing no payments down here. Just go back. And the option is to pay. So before I pay it, let's go to QuickBooks real quick and let me jump over there. So this is our sandbox for QuickBooks. If we go in here, we will see an invoice has been created for Chris Williams for $181.57. That corresponds to 1332. Come over here, document number 1332 in QuickBooks. Okay, so that when we created it, it automatically flowed over. Okay. No double entry. And actually, when we created Chris Williams, when we initially created him, his customer information went into QuickBooks automatically too. Okay, so we want to pay it. We're going to go ahead and pay the whole thing. We will get into how to do multiple payments in a more in-depth video later. So we're going to say 881.57, and we're going to choose payment method. You have to put amount in. The amount has to be greater than 0, and it has to be less than or equal to the balance. And we can see no payments have been made. Payments also are listed over here if you have multiples or just have one. Credit card, check, cash, PayPal, customer account, and other. Okay, so let me go through these real quick. Credit card's pretty self-explanatory. We choose that. We click Pay Invoice. Another window is going to pop up to collect that information. Check. You choose check. You would put the information here. Okay. Cash. Put some information like paid cash or whatever. PayPal, this is very similar to credit card, except for you choose PayPal, pay it, then click Pay Invoice button. It's going to open the PayPal interface so the user can log on to their PayPal account and get you settled up. Customer account is when a customer gives you a lump sum of cash or some payment earlier on in the process that you have a balance for, and it would show up here in the account balance. Right now for this guy, Chris Williams, it's 0. Then we have a catch-all other. If you use other, you probably want to put in the details, sort of what's going on. Your accountant will appreciate that. Okay, so let me go back. Let's go to do a credit card, and for the full amount, pay invoice. Okay, so we click that. Now we come to the place where we can put in the credit card number. This is just a testing system, so we've got a test credit card number, and it's all in there. We're going to say charge the credit card. So this is going to do a couple things. It's going to go out and charge that credit card with our payment processor. It's also, upon successful payment of that invoice, it's going to send information over to QuickBooks. So it is now paid. Payment of 181.57 was applied to the invoice. Balance is 0. And here's our payment. Okay, so that one's completely done. And if we go back to our home page, it has removed. And now we also have in our payments for this week, for today, we have 181.57. Now, one other thing, if I go over here, let me close this and refresh this, we have a payment for it. We click in here, one payment has been made, and it is marked paid. You can see that payment information within QuickBooks. Okay, so we'll go back over to Shop Methods, and that's about it. We will have some other videos to get into some of the more detailed and advanced topics, such as multiple payments, multiple invoices. We'll go over paying cash, paying check, customer, how to set up a customer account, how to pay PayPal. Anyway, if you got any questions, just give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd appreciate to hear from you. And thank you very much. And check out our